think Twitch is being silly. Okay, nothing flashing. Nothing flashing. Everything's fine. Okay, good. Okay. Yes, Twitch has been funny lately. So, folks, we're going to tell you the rules for a story writing challenge that Mark is about to take on. And here to tell you about it is the man himself.
Hey all. So, yeah, this should be fun. For the last few years, you guys have seen me, or the results of me doing writing Becoming Stories. And some folks have, asked, where do you come up with the ideas, or how long does it take you to write one of those stories? And I've shared, some of that, like when I wrote the Valkyrie story in an hour. Tyler was sitting next to me. We were in the old office, and I just put on the headphones, and an hour later, the Valkyrie story came out. Haven't even been thinking about that. So,
if you're not a writer, that's rather unusual.
Yeah, well, I'm not a writer either, so I guess I can get away with it.
No, I mean, if you didn't know.
No, I know. I'm making a joke, Max.
Yes.
You make joke.
Okay, a joke, yes.
So, this challenge I thought would be a good one. It'd be a fun one, potentially an embarrassing one for me, and one that, if I succeed, well, then you guys would look at it and go, hey, wow, MJ actually did what he said he was going to do. So, here's the challenge. What's going to happen is over the next 2 days, we want you folks to think about what sort of story, legend, tale you would like to see me write a Becoming story about. I don't want to know what it is. I won't know what it is. You guys can talk, whether you have guilds that you'll talk with, or friends you'll talk with, or each other through private email. You'll have 2 days. And over those next 2 days, or after those 2 days, Max will go on Twitch, and we'll do a live stream where you folks will pick. Sorry, James, it cannot be a goblin story. That's part of the rules. You guys will pick what tale you want me to turn into a Becoming story. I will then have 30 minutes to research it, or more if I want. It's all part of the 2 hours that I have to go from basic idea to Becoming story. And that's it. It's really that simple. There are going to be some rules, not too many, you know me. One, it can't be a Becoming story or a tale that's already part of a Becoming story. That's too easy. Like, you couldn't say, hey, why don't you guys do The Emissaries Part 2? Way too simple. Or, anything like that. It's just not a challenge, right? Because I may have already had the answer. Part of this challenge is going to be to see if I fall flat on my face. Will I face plant? Will I get writer's block? Will I be able to do anything useful in those 2 hours? That, is part of the fun. And in terms of the challenge, well, if I can't write a Becoming story, I'll let you folks also decide what embarrassing thing I'll do on Twitch to make up for it. So if I lose, maybe you get to see me do something embarrassing. Advice on picking any sort of story or fairy tale, as you just say, Doulos? Yeah, look for something in the Tri-Realms. So you want something that, is Arthurian. Welsh would be fine. You want something associated with the TDD, so anything Celtic, Irish, anything that, we use. And Viking, of course, well, gee, there's only a gazillion interesting stories there, and, for all 3 realms. So, that's really it. You have 2 days. We'll post this on the forums, just so people there know as well. And you guys, yep, Scottish works too. you guys, will get a chance to vote on it. I'll be sitting or lying down on the couch, relaxing while you vote. And when Max comes to get me, that's when time starts. And I will do research, and then I will try to write a becoming story. And that's it.
The story writing challenge.
The story writing challenge. And why not? Yes.
Yeah, probably a straw
Yeah,
poll.
probably a straw poll live. And yeah, that's it. And that'll be up to you. And again, it can't be a story that we've done. It can't be a story like the Goblins because that's too easy. I want you guys to make it interesting. And while you're thinking of ideas, don't go for anything too easy like, oh, it's a story about a milkmaid who went up a hill. Yeah, that's just way too easy because there's nothing there, which means I can do anything I want. So, if you can come up with something that is a little more, fleshed out and that I have to stick to at least, close to the story to make it interesting, that will also make it harder. So, yeah.
So one very important rule is don't tell us.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Don't tell us what story you're thinking of. Only tell us when we ask for it on Thursday because that is what makes it a challenge.
Exactly. Don't tell Genesee. Don't tell Max. Don't tell me. Don't post on our forums. Don't do it anywhere where I could have access to it. Because I'm telling you I won't, but I don't want anyone to say, oh, well, MJ probably still had access. Nope. You got to keep this amongst yourselves. And only when the Thursday stream starts, that's at that point, that's when Max and or Genesee will actually be there to see those concepts. And even then, I'll be on the couch, so I won't even know. And even if I did, it would only be an extra half hour. So, yeah, not kind of worth the effort to cheat. So that's it. Very simple. The rules will be posted on the forum, and yeah.
And remember, don't tell us.
Yeah. Please don't tell us. What we may do to make it easier for some people who can't get on Twitch on Thursday is we'll ask you to send emails then. And at that point, they can look at it and put it into the straw poll. So that's it, guys. Take some time. Think about what story or what legend that you would like to see me write a becoming story on. And again, can't be Goblin. Sorry, JG. Can't be Goblin.
Can't be a continuation of anything we've already have.
Can't be the Emissaries Part 2 or the next pick story, anything like that. It's got to be new. So you've got 2 days. Plenty of legends out there, plenty of great sites you can get stories from, and it's up to you. So enjoy the next 2 days, folks. Be thinking about, again, how you can help me face plant, because face planting MJ could be fun. And even better, if I face plant, you guys get to ask me to do something embarrassing. And that's it. So I'm going to go back to work.
I'll answer questions for a few minutes.
Thank you, Max. Thank you, folks. And I'll see you soon.
Alrighty. So if you're just joining us, MJ is going to do a story challenge. And if you have any questions about it, I'll be on for a few more minutes. Of course, tune in later today at 6:30 Eastern Time. And I'll have Moobot give you the schedule for Storytime with Max. If you have one of our stories, published stories that you'd like me to read out loud, you can request it before then. That's right, Matos. Find a legend, and MJ will write a becoming story based on it. but don't tell us what it is, because that is what's going to make it a real challenge. Yeah, possibly then Halloween. Certainly on that day. We might move the time around a little bit. No, you can't make up a legend, the Wark. The point is that it's like, you know, all of our Becoming stories, it's going to be based on a real world legend from Norse, Gaelic, Arthurian mythology, and it'll have to fit into the world of Camelot Unchained, based on that story, but not identical to it. Matos, don't send it by email, don't send it by forum until Thursday, when we'll either do it on Twitch, or you can send an email when we ask for it then, and then we'll drop it on MJ after you guys vote on one of them. Cheap Trickster, nothing fantasy or fabricated that's, you know, at all modern. Something old, Norse, Gaelic, or Celtic myth. Well, the Wark, the bigger it is, the bigger the challenge, because there's more to work with, but also there's more to incorporate. Odilvik, you know, it should be more than a footnote in the Norse, in your Norse mythology book. James Goblin, it has to be well known enough that you know, it's part of the scholarly body of work known as myth. What do you mean, how much freedom, Cheap Trickster? I mean, you're going to pick a story. Certainly, you know, make it easier to identify if it has a title or a name or a specific part of a mythological cycle. Wiki page exists is probably a good measure. Yeah, I'd agree with that, Dulos. That's good. Well, Bevy Gaming, if it comes from another mythology, then it probably won't fit the realm. So that's kind of a contradiction in terms. Odilvik, it has to be, you have to be able to, you know, give us the title or the number in a mythological cycle or something. You don't have to paste the whole story. Seosis, either Arthurian or Tuatha-Dé-Danann, depending on the myth. But you don't have to figure that out. You just have to figure out which one you want. Oh, I see Bevy Gaming. Tend to stay away from that. I guess you can try both, Cheap Trickster. Not forever, James Goblin.
That's what we're doing. Camelot, happy three, yeah. We sold the studio, so we're making happy three. You're getting way too much.
Odilvik, not something that we've already written a story about. So, you know, for example,
The other day I came over and I was like, so this whole mirror thing, like,
you know, if you
problem thing that you're
you know,
working on,
don't say, oh, you know, we want a sequel to the Coming of the Emissaries or Tales of the One True City or any of that. You know, we're not doing a sequel. We're not doing a repeat of any of the stories we already have. But something totally unexpected, hopefully. Does that make sense, Odilvik?
Are you guys pushing anything when it comes to safety wise?
Well, I stopped
Is
it.
Sandra doing things? Is Sandra aware that things are breaking?
Jason stuff is very good.
Don't hit save on it.
Archpit, that is off topic. But the answer for me happens to be burning stuff down, conquering it, and building my own stuff there. Just for now. I think that's pretty cool.
So it's actually
An unbecoming story.
health density.
Oh, an example would limit the pool of possibilities. But I don't know. You know, say the story of Cuchulainn. Pick a, you know, you might say, oh, this story about Cuchulainn of Gaelic mythology, and then specify it, and then if that one gets voted on, then NJ would have to write a story about it. And there are some pretty crazy ones.
Are you doing Donnie? If it's named Donnie,
Yeah.
that's your problem. It's not because it's a leprechaun, it's because it's Donnie.
Yes, Foggy. It's you have 2 days to think of what story from mythology, our three main mythologies, do you want MJ to get surprised with and have to write a story on, doing research and writing in 2 hours on Thursday? That is the story challenge. All right. Well, think of a really tough one, Foggy. Really interesting one. And don't tell us which. All right. Well, I'm not seeing a whole bunch more questions. So I will sign off. Make sure to drop by our stream again to catch Storytime with Max. That's me. And if you have a story that you particularly want me to read, you can let me know. And that'll be at 6:30 this evening, 6:30 Eastern. Tomorrow we have lots of fun stuff coming up. Periscope and bring out your devs to interview the team, and then of course a nice little break with our depths themed board game. Lots of other fun stuff this week. So here's the schedule one more time. And see you later. Think of a good story. A good story from mythology. Bye now.